والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما مولانا بقية الله في الأرضين روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء إن شاء الله. Alhamdulillah, it was a tawfiq. We could discuss few things in this beautiful month of Ramadan, and at the last night of my lecture I would like to discuss an issue that there is a karamah for insan, for us human being. Allah has created a prestige, and we have that prestige which is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mu'min has a prestige, and there is a solid relationship between this prestige of mu'min which is given to him by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ma'rifat of Allah and love of Allah. This is very good related. People of God, they always relate themselves, or they are related with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have this prestige, they have this karamah, and this is important. And there are a group of people, they don't care about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they look for karamah, for the prestige which is all human made. And inshallah we will discuss a little bit what is the difference between if we have karamah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and if we have karamah for ourselves, this prestige for ourselves. There has to be different. There's a beautiful hadith from Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, where he says, Inna qawman abadullah raghbatan fatilka ibadatu tujjar. There's a group of people, they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they're looking for some reward. They do worship, but they are tujjar, they're the businessmen. They're doing ibadah, but this ibadah is not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This ibadah is for themselves because they want to get paid back. They want to get some rewards. They worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna qawman abadullah raghbatan. They have some hope, they have some raghbah, they have some charm in the ibadah because they want return. And say, if I do this, then God is going to do this to me because He has promised to us. He said, if you do this, I will do that for you. So they are looking for some return in their ibadah. وَإِنَّ قَوْمًا عَبَدُ اللَّهِ رَهْبَةً فَتِلْكَ عِبَادَةُ الْعَبِيدِ. Some people worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just because of fear. Because they say, if I don't do this, if I don't pray, if I don't fast, if I don't do this khair, if I don't do this good deed, if I don't, then Allah is going to punish me. So the intention is protection from punishment from God, because I have to do this. If I don't do this, then He is going to after me, and then God is going to punish me. So this is the. And then Imam Ali is saying, Tilka ibad, fatilka ibadatul abid. This is the ibadat of slaves. They consider themselves slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen says, وَإِنَّ قَوْمًا عَبَدُ اللَّهِ شُكْرًا. Some people, they are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people are really thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala due to being thankful. And this is something else. Then Amir al-Mu'mineen says, فَتِلْكَ عِبَادَةُ الْأَحْرَارِ. There are people, they are free. Free people. They have choice. They can ask something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for return. They're a group of people, they consider themselves slaves because they have fear and they follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because they deal with Allah in a way of slaves. Here, Amir al-Mu'mineen is saying, now, but I am not in those upper group. I am from the last group. فَإِنَّ قَوْمًا عَبَدُوا اللَّهِ شُكْرًا فَتِلْكَ عِبَادَةُ الْأَحْرَارِ. There's a group of people, they're always thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Well, the question is right here. How we can be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is this possible without having ma'rifat or not? If we don't have ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then how we are going to be thankful to Allah? How we are going to do thanks to Allah? It's not going to happen. Either we are businessmen or either we consider ourselves slave. So we do worship because of fear, or we do worship because of some rewards. But if we really want to do ibadah, then we have to have a ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we know Him, who is Allah, what is His identity, what is His attitude, how He cares about us, and how He has created His entire creation for us, and how is a relationship with His people, and He considers us as ayalullah, the family of God. We are just like children of God. We are just like His family. We are the closest one to Him. When we think about all those issues and we have knowledge of all these issues, in this situation I am going to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then I will realize that, wow, this is my God who has created us and who has given to us all these facilities, and here I am. And what I am doing to Him? Do I do things what He wants from us? Do I listen to Him? Do I care about Him? No. If I don't, that means I don't have ma'rifat. Because there's a relation between ma'rifat and shukr. If we have a true ma'rifat, then we are going to have true shukr. If we have real knowing, if we have true knowing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we are really going to be thankful to Him. Not only with actions, even though on the level of our thoughts, our imagination, in the very subtle level of our existence, we are going to be humble to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just because of His ma'rifah, because I know Him. If I stand in front of you, I don't fear. I talk whatever I want. I laugh whatever I want. I say what I want to say. I don't care about anything, because I know you are not going, all you're going to say, you're going, Sheikh, I don't like your words. Go ahead. I don't care. But if you are standing in front of, let's say, a grand martial art master, so your talk is going to be in a different way. You are not going to talk in a way that you make him angry, otherwise you're going to beat you up. You're going to be beaten by him. So you're going to talk to him, but in a very nice way, polite way. You're going to call him master. And if you're standing in front of a very cruel king, a king who can kill everyone without any reason, when you're standing in front of him, you're going to watch every single words of your mouth. You're going to be very careful, because you know that this person is very, his popularity is being cruel, because he is a cruel man. He's a cruel man, this king. But here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I am not cruel. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I am Rahman and Rahim. It was enough for his cruelty. If he wanted to show us his cruelty, he could say, okay, Mr. A, you are going to die on this date. Mr. B, you are going to die on this date. Mr. C, you are going to die on this date. Mr. D, you are going to die on this date. If I know my date of my death, everything would change. But he said, I'm not going to tell you. I want to leave you on easy. Relax. I want you to enjoy the life. Because if you know that the next day you are going to die, you have to wrap it up. And everything you're going to count. Oh, one more week gone. If you know your date of death, then there's no meaning for celebrating birth date. Because celebrating birth date means we say, well, one more year. But in fact, what is the reality behind this birth date celebration? You're losing your age. You're going to live for 60 years, and now at the age of 30, you're celebrating your 30 years of your birth date. Well, half of it's gone. So you have to be sad, in fact. This is the reality. If I am 45 and I know my death is 50, so only 5 years is leaving for me. So I have lost 45 years. Then am I going to have a birthday celebration? But I'm 45 now. I'm going to majlis, have a majlis. Like, why? Because I lost my 45 years, only 5 years left. So my time is getting lower and lower. But God says, I don't want to put you in tension. I don't want to give you tension. I want to leave you in relax, in peace, enjoy the life. But one day you have to come to me. But we have to have that ma'rifat of God and the relationship He has with us. Number one, His relationship to us. And in return, then what is my relationship to God. There's another hadith almost just like previous hadith from Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says, "Ma abadtuka khawfan min narik." I never worshipped you, oh my God, just because of the fear of your fire. "Wala tama'an fi jannatik." And I never worshipped you just because of your Jannah, your heaven. "Walakin wajadtuka ahlan lil ibadah fa'abadtuk." I found you, my God, my Allah, my Khaliq. I found you the one who deserve for worship. And that's why I love you. That's why due to that marifat, I worshipped you. And I'm worshipping you. So that's a difference between our worship and the worship of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. Our worship and the worship of Sayyid al-Shuhada Abdullah Hussain. And our worship and worship of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. This is the main thing, the marifat. And we have to somehow gain that ma'rifat. Otherwise, in another hadith, almost similar to up two hadiths, there's a third hadith, but in continuation, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, وَلَكِنِّي أَعْبُدُهُ حُبًّا لَهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. I worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because I love Him. Yeah, Ali, how you can worship someone if you don't know? So he says, I know Him because I have His ma'rifah, I know Him completely. That's why I love Him. And that's why my worship is due to love. وَلَكِنِّي أَعْبُدُهُ حُبًّا لَهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ فَتِلْكَ عِبَادَةُ الْكِرَامِ. The word is here very beautiful. And this is the ibadat of kiram. Ahl al-karam. People of their kareem. They have a prestige for themselves. They have a respect for themselves. They feel a respect for themselves. وَهُوَ الْأَمْنُ لِقَوْلِهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ وَهُوَ مِنْ فَزَعِ يَوْمِئِذٍ آمِنُونَ. There's an ayah that Imam mentioned in beautiful ayah, and says, and this is the this is the true peace, and these people of kiram, these respectful people, they respect themselves and they have prestige for themselves. These people are going to be under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when everybody is suffering with the troubles and problems. And this is correct. Then what is the meaning of kirama? Well, Shaykh Mutari has a very beautiful article, a small book. It's basically it's not a book, it's a kind of his notes, his footnotes of what he was for writing his books. He had a bunch of notes, and later on they published all these notes in one set of the books. So in one of his notes, he says basically what is the thing, what is this kirama? Then he explains there in detail that this kirama is not, this prestige is not that prestige that I am better than you, or my family is better than your family, and my identity is better than your identity, and my belongings is better than your belongings. No, this is not this prestige. This is the prestige against all bad things. Something else. If I am good, I'm not going to do this thing. I know this is gunah, this is masiyah, this is a sin. So moment when it doesn't go behind, when moment doesn't go behind all these bad things, no lies, no adultery, no liquors, no backbiting, no blaming others, no hurting others, no disrespecting others, no cheating on others, all those things, he is going to gain a prestige against everything is bad. That is the true thing. That is the true prestige. If I care about myself and I really care myself instead of in front of these things, then that means I am looking for true prestige, and I want to respect myself, and I want to be respectful. I want to be respectful. When I become like that, then others, including Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, including Rasul and Ahlul Bayt, they're all going to praise us. Praise us. Otherwise, if you ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is this guy? I don't know. In what world is he living? If you ask from Rasulullah, who is this person who calls himself Mu'min? He said, I don't know who is he. Amir al-Mu'mineen, tell me who is this person? I don't know who is this person. If you call others our enemies, they are going to say opposite. Yes, he is a Muslim. Well, he's a Muslim. Yes, he's a Muslim. Because they are not your friend. So they're going to count your bad deeds into the account of Islam, and they're going to say, well, this is Muslim. In fact, he is not a Muslim. If you ask the opinion of God, Western people here in the society, people in common, they're common people. They don't do deep researches. If I want to know something about Islam, I have to go and look into the opinions of scholars, not in commons. If I want to know about Christianity, I'm not going to see the locals' action, what common people are doing. No, I have to go find the scholars. I am going to read St. Augustine, I'm going to read Meister Eckhart, I'm going to read the Western philosophers, I'm going to read Western theologians. There's a different scholars. I'm going to read them and I'm going to find what they say and what they learn from Bible. I'm not going to judge into the actions of people. But what's happening now in our time, our enemies, they have put us into the vitrine, into the show class, in the show glass, in the showroom. And we are the first thing. World is watching us. And in our actions, they say, oh, this is Islam. No, this is not Islam. In another point, Shaykh Mutari has a beautiful word where he says, there's a two option. Whether we have Islam understood correctly in our mind, and then this is our action, it's not going to happen. Or there is a problem in our understanding of Islam. There is a problem in our understanding of Islam. Definitely the problem is in our understanding of Islam. If we understood Islam correctly, we would act in a different way, in a different pattern. Because a group of Muslims are not acting correctly, and we can see their mistakes. We can see their mistakes. And that's why others say, look, this is what they're doing. Because they're doing like that, then Islam is wrong. No, it's not correct. But there's a strong logic. Imam Musa Sadr says in one of his books, you can know a good tree from its fruit. So if fruit is every year some problem in fruits. Fruit was never good. Few years back and then last year and then this year. So we say, okay, finally, this tree is garbage. Because every year its fruit is not good. But if you want to judge a tree with only its bad fruit, this is not logical. Because you can say, no, the fruit, it's good fruit. And the tree is good. But well, this year something happened. And the fruit is gone. Well, understandable. This is well understandable. But if fruit is always wrong, then we can say, yes, this tree is garbage. This tree doesn't worth to have in home. But sometimes we know that the fruit is very good. In this tree, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of good fruit in the tree of Islam. But our enemies, they always show the bad fruit. Look at this bad fruit. That means the tree is good. Tree is bad. No, tree is not bad. My brother, you have chosen the wrong fruit. Go behind the correct fruit. And if you see the true fruit, the correct fruit, then you will realize what is the tree and the value of tree. This is important. We have to understand it. We have a short time. I always keep saying that. We have a very short time, and in this short time, we have to make a decision. And we have to change ourselves, and we have to show ourselves as a positive fruit. There's no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. In fact, whatever we have, it is today and it is just now. We can decide now for ourselves, and the next second is going to change everything. And we have millions of ways ahead of us. And every single decision is going to change the way ahead of us. Every single decision we make now, we are going to change the way. If I make decision A, there's some certain ways ahead of us. If I make a decision B, there's thousands of decisions ahead of me, thousands of ways ahead of me. And I'm going to lose some ways, and there's going to some ways remain open on me because I've chosen B. So in the present time, we have to make right choices. If we make right choices in the correct time, then we are good. But if we don't understand, or we misunderstood, if we misunderstood Islam, then others, they're going to say, look at the Islam, this is Islam. A young man went to the doctor and said, doctor, my father is very old and he's sick, and I can't bring him to you in the clinic. My father is old and sick. I can't bring him to you. And this is his problem. Give me some medicine. Doctor said, this is a syrup, shake it and give it to him. Shake it and give it to him. This man took the medicine to his father, came after a week or two. I said, yo, my father is almost about to die. His condition is much worse than before. Doctor said, oh, what happened? The medicine was correct, diagnosis was correct, I diagnosed correct. Then what is the problem? How did you feed him this medicine? He said, well, I shook my father first and then I gave him medicine. He said, my brother, what you did to him? You shook your father first? I told, shake the medicine and then give it to him. Don't shake your father first. You almost killed him. There's no problem of Quran, there's not problem of Rasul, there's not problem of Ahlul Bayt. This is our problem. We keep understanding wrong and the application is wrong. Instead of healing ourselves, we are putting ourselves in a big problem. But those understood Quran correctly, they could maintain their life. They could become true Muslim. They could become true mu'min. We have list of scholars and ulama and mu'mineen and awliya in our world. If I'm going to name them, I have to name like almost 1,000 people. 1,000. The last one we can say, Marhum Allama Tabatabai Radwanullah alayhi, one of the scholars. And among the mu'mineen, among the people, hundreds of mu'mineen, we can see with the true understanding. So understanding is the most important part. We have to gain the true knowledge. We have to understand true thing. If we understand correct, if we gain knowledge correctly, then we can protect ourselves. And the only key of success is only correct knowledge. There's nothing other. Because everything is going to be contained in two things. Number one, true knowledge. And number two, action according to this knowledge. There's a beautiful hadith from Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam, where he says, لو علم الناس ما في طلب العلم لطلبوه ولو بسفك المهج وخوض اللجج. Beautiful hadith. If people were aware of what lies in the obtaining of knowledge, they would pursue it even though they had to travel in oceans and endanger their lives to obtain it. We would really bear those hardships to travel into the oceans to learn knowledge. But because we don't care about knowledge. When we don't care about knowledge, then we are going to be always in trouble. I'm going to ask from this person, from that person, help of this person, help of that person, because our relationship with God is not correct. I could understand him. Who is he? And what is my relationship? But if you go into the life of ulama and scholars, Marum Ayatollah Lasuma Hujjataku Kamarei, one of the scholars in the time of Sheikh Abdul Karim Haider, who established the Hawza Ilmiya of Qom, they were very close, and their marjaiyat was very close. And it was like that, if Ayatollah Sheikh Abdul Karim Haider is not going to become a marja, then Hujjat is going to be marja. But somehow Sheikh Abdul Karim Haider became marja, and Ayatollah Hujjat, no, he was marja, like the main marja, and he was a secondary marja in Qom. After a few years, maybe a year or 2 or 3 years, Sheikh Abdul Karim, he just remembered his friend. He said, oh, Haji Hujjat lives in this town, and he was very close. We are very close on the level of ilm and taqwa and ma'rifat and these things. So he sent someone to Ayatollah Hujjat saying that, go to visit Ayatollah Hujjat and give him my salam, and give him or pass him a message, my message. What is the message? Sheikh Abdul Karim Haider told to Haji Hujjat, the message is, if you need something, let me know. And Abdul Karim is in your service. The person who brought the message, he told this message to Haji Hujjat. Haji Hujjat in return said, yes, thank you very much. Say my salam to Sheikh Abdul Karim Haider and tell him, Hujjat needs help of Kareem, not Abdul Karim. It is all about his ma'rifah. It's all about ma'rifah. If we know our God, if we know our Creator, if we have this kind of relationship with the Khaliq, with the Razik, with God, then we are not going to be behind any Abdul Karim. Because all of us are Abdul Karim. We are all the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we do not need servants. We need the Master itself, the Lord itself, or the Lord Himself. If we go behind Him, we are not going to be in trouble. So the only thing is, we have to go behind knowledge. Not knowledge. The knowledge is going to take us towards marifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The knowledge is going to take us towards knowing Allah better. Every day better than yesterday. And the source is very clear. Well, there's a conditions. Imam Ali says one of the hadiths, لا يدرك العلم براحة الجسم. Ilm is not going to be dark in Arabic, something when you perceive it, when you comprehend it, when you understand deeply. When you understand something completely, Imam Ali is saying, لا يدرك العلم براحة الجسم. When the body is in ease, in pleasures, in lust, in desireful life, then you are not going to dark of ilm. Well, Imam doesn't say لا تكسب العلم. Tuksab means you can gain the knowledge. You can gain the knowledge, you can have the books, you can memorize it. Having knowledge of A, B, C, D is something else. But making words out of A, B, C, D is something else. We can gain the knowledge, we can have the knowledge. But comprehending knowledge, understanding knowledge, having a deep understanding from the knowledge, it's not going to be easy. You have to suffer, we have to suffer, we have to go through knowledge and we have to suffer for it. And we have to bear problems and we have to bear lots of troubles. I cannot take my life parallel for the lust of dunya and for ilm together. No, for the knowledge, no, it's not going to happen. I have to choose one of these things. Whether I have to go for my dunya life, my worldly life, or I have to go for my ilmi life, for my knowledgeable life. So if I choose this one, then I have to cut from this side. And if I choose this one, then I have to cut from this side. But it's not going to be together, almost impossible. Imam Ali is saying, لا يدرك العلم. Nobody can have true understanding of ilm, knowledge, with the lustful life. Well, and the second point is, after knowledge, is our deed. According to knowledge, we have to act. If we are acting according to our knowledge, then we are good. Quran says, كل نفس بما كسبت رهينة. كل نفس بما كسبت رهينة. Every soul is hostage to what he has earned. So we are hostage of our actions. If our action is good, we are in safe hands. If actions is not good, this is the Surah Muddathir, ayah number 38. كل نفس بما كسبت رهينة. Every soul is hostage of what he has earned. So if our soul is hostage of something positive, then we are safe. If our soul is hostage of something wrong, then we are in trouble. There is no other way. Other ayat in Quran, وَكَذَلِكَ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ مَا قَدْ سَبَقَ وَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ مِنْ لَدُنَّا ذِكْرًا. Quran says, I have given to you, O my beloved Prophet, stories of the old people, and I have given you this book. And you have this book in your hand. You have the source of knowledge in your hand. You have the source of values. مَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَحْمِلُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وِزْرًا. People, they turn their face away from this knowledge, from this source of knowledge, then they are going to bear their own problems. They are going to have their problems on their own shoulders in the day of Qiyamah. They cannot blame us, and this is fact. And in another ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly says, مَنِ اهْتَدَى فَإِنَّمَا يَهْتَدِي لِنَفْسِهِ. If you seek knowledge, this is for you. Nobody needs. It's all going for us. If I seek knowledge, that's going to be for me. وَمَنْ ضَلَّ فَإِنَّمَا يُضَلُّ فَإِمَّا يَضِلُّ عَلَيْهَا. And the people, they say, no, I don't want to follow the path of knowledge, path of taqwa, path of iman, path of hidayah, guidance. Then they are going to be in trouble. وَلَا تَزَرُ وَازَرَةً وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. And nobody can bear others' problem on his shoulder. Everybody has to carry his own problems on his own shoulder. وَمَا كُنَّ This part is important, the last part of ayah. وَمَا كُنَّ مُعَذَّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. So Allah says, I am not going to punish anyone unless I send a Rasul to him. I am not going to punish anyone unless I send a prophet to him. I send a message to him. That means, very clearly Quran says, I have sent message to all of you. whether you accept it or you have denied it. And we have to find our time where we did it, when we accepted it and when we denied it. This is very simple and easy. At the end, I just want to recite the dua of Rasulullah, what he used to recite in most of his Salatul Layl or nighttime sujood or nighttime du'as. Ilahi la takilni ila nafsi tarfata aynin abada. Oh Allah, don't leave me on me even though for a blink of eyes, for this time. Don't leave us on us. I want to have your protection. I want to have your support. I want to have your love always with me. Don't leave us on us. Inshallah ta'ala. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.